Give us this day our daily bread. And our daily bread for today comes from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hey y'all, my name's V. Happy Sunday and welcome to my channel Sunday Plate. Now whether you're a beginner cook or a seasoned veteran, my intention for being here is to show you how to create simple, semi-homemade, delicious meals and desserts on a budget that any family can enjoy. So with that being said, let's get into this lemon blueberry pound cake. I soaked the blueberries in about a teaspoon of baking soda and a cap full of vinegar. Ignore the strawberries, that's for another recipe. I'll be using for this pound cake are a half a cup of milk, 2 cups plus 1 teaspoon of cake flour. You can use all-purpose flour for this recipe as well. 2 large eggs, a fourth a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 stick of unsalted room temperature butter, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, and additionally you'll need 3/4 cup of confection sugar, also known as powdered sugar. This is going to be for your glaze, and of course your blueberries. This is 1 pint. Now you're going to begin by pouring your milk into a separate small bowl. You'll then add a tablespoon of lemon zest, and you'll follow with 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Give it a good whisk and set it aside. Now this mixture will curdle, but that's okay. Medium-sized bowl, you'll be adding your 2 cups of flour, your baking soda, and your salt. And you'll give those ingredients a good mix. And you'll set that mixture aside as well. Now you're going to see me pour my blueberries into this plastic bowl. It's kind of out of shot. I apologize for that. But I'm just simply pouring my blueberries into this plastic bowl. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of flour to those blueberries. And I'll use my hands to just gently toss those blueberries in the flour. Now this keeps the blueberries from sinking to the bottom of the pan once you pour your batter into your baking pan. You want to make sure they're evenly coated, and then you'll set those aside. Next, you're going to take your room temperature butter and you're going to add that to a large bowl. And then you'll just add your sugar. Now I'm using an electric mixer on medium speed to mix these 2 ingredients, but if you don't have one, you can certainly just use a spoon. I'm using this mixture just to ensure that my ingredients are evenly mixed. You'll mix this for about 2 to 3 minutes or until the butter and sugar are light and fluffy. It'll kind of look like scrambled eggs. Once that's done, you'll add 1 egg to that mixture and you'll just mix it again. Now once you start mixing, you're going to see that the consistency of the mix is going to change from light to fluffy, and you're looking for a smooth and creamy look. This smooth and creamy look is what you want. Now you're going to add your second egg to the batter. And you're going to give it a good mix until it's well incorporated into your mixture. After you finish mixing the second egg, take your spoon and scrape down the sides of the bowl and give your batter a quick stir. Now add about a third of your dry mix. This is your flour, baking soda, and salt. Take your lemon zest and mixed mixture that you set aside earlier and add half of the bowl to your mix. You're going to mix all these ingredients well on low speed for about 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure you're scraping down the sides of your bowl as you go. Next, you want to add another third of your flour mixture. And you'll follow with the rest of your milk and lemon zest. Again, you're going to mix those ingredients on low speed or until everything is evenly mixed in. We're adding the last of our dry mix. And we're adding the dry mixture to the batter in thirds to prevent the cake from being overly mixed. If you have an overly mixed cake, it'll turn out kind of dense and tough. And we want a nice, moist, fluffy cake. Once that's mixed, it's time to add our blueberries. Now you'll see that I'm adding half of my blueberries. But if you'd like, you can add the whole bowl. Just make sure that you fold them in evenly into your batter if you do it that way. I prefer to add half at a time, just to make sure I fold evenly throughout my batter. And if you noticed, I kept a few blueberries in my bowl just so that I can decorate my cake when it's all done. Now you're going to take your loaf pan. Now I'm not sure of the measurements of this pan that I'm using, but I think it's a 9 or 10 by 6. You're going to take the pan and you're going to lightly spray it with a spray-on butter, or you can just lightly oil the pan with the vegetable oil, olive oil, or oil of your choice. Whatever you use, just make sure that the pan is evenly coated. You'll then add the parchment paper to line the bottom of your pan. If you don't have parchment paper, you can lightly dust the pan with flour once you coat it with the oil. Carefully pour your batter into the loaf pan. Use the back of your spoon to smooth out the batter to make sure it's evenly set in the pan. You can also give it a light shake from side to side if you want, just to make sure the batter sits in the pan evenly. Pop her into a preheated oven at 400 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes. While that's cooking, you want to prepare your glaze. I have 1 lemon cut into pieces small enough for my lemon squeezer that you see me using here. You'll likely not use all of this, but you want to squeeze enough for 1.5 tablespoons. And the struggle was real getting that last lemon out, okay? You're then going to grab your powdered sugar. You're going to add that to your bowl. You're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon zest to that mix. Now I added just a little more to mine because I like a more lemon flavored glaze. Then goes in 1.5 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Give that a good mix until you have a smooth glaze. After about 50 to 60 minutes, it's time to take your pound cake out of the oven, and just like this, you should have a beautiful golden brown cake. Put your cake on the cooling rack and test to make sure it's completely done. No residue on the toothpick shows that your cake is done. Now you want to allow your cake to cool for about 10 to 15 minutes in the loaf pan and then let it cool completely on the cooling rack outside of the loaf pan, which is not what you see me do here, but don't be like me. And now that I've plated my cake, it's time for the fun part. Take your glaze and a spoon and drizzle the glaze over top of your cake, just like you see me do here. Now, if you like a lot of glaze, you just double this recipe, but this was just enough to evenly coat the cake. I just took my spoon, as you can see here, drizzled some of that glaze over the top, and used the back of my spoon to just smooth that glaze over the top of my cake to make sure I have an even coat of glaze. Like I mentioned before, I saved some blueberries to decorate my cake, but again, this part is not necessary. Just makes the cake look pretty, in my opinion. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lemon blueberry pound cake. This cake tasted as good as it looks. Moist, fluffy pound cake made with simple, affordable ingredients with just the right amount of sweetness to it. Sundays for my family is church, fellowship, family game nights, and a nice Sunday plate filled with our favorite foods. What does Sundays look like for you and your family? I'd love to read about it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember, the most important ingredient for any recipe is love. If you're looking for your YouTube tribe, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.